Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Daniel Ronberg, and today we're going to continue our Countdown to Retirement series. If you recall, the last time we talked about your ability to retire, and not just retire, but enjoy retirement, comes down to if you can answer yes to 4 distinct questions about your unique retirement. Last time, we addressed question number 1, which is the most obvious question. It's the question of, do you have enough money? If you can't answer yes to this question, you probably shouldn't be retiring. There's going to be some things you need to do before you ultimately go ahead and retire. Now, just because you answered yes to that question, it may seem like, well, Daniel, that's pretty obvious. If I can answer yes to that question, why wouldn't I retire? That's not necessarily the case. If that was the case, Warren Buffett wouldn't work well into his 90s, worth almost $90 billion. There's something more to work than just the financial aspect of it. So today's question, what we're going to talk about today, is the second question, which is, have you had enough work? Not do you have enough money, but have you had enough work of the current job or career you're in right now? Because again, as we unpack this, retirement shouldn't be seen as only a financial decision. Of course, that's important. You need to make sure you have enough money and enough resources to be able to retire successfully. But there's a component that you're actually giving up when you decide to retire. There's something else that you're giving up, and it's not just a paycheck. And I've seen this so many times. I've worked with a number of clients over the course of my career where we were very diligent in making sure they had the right Social Security strategy, the right saving strategy. We brought in a CPA to have clarity around their taxes. And we did everything to make sure that they were intentionally not going to outlive their money in retirement. And they did that. They retired. But something was still missing. You know what so many of these people found out once they actually retired? They gave up a sense of purpose. So they gave up a sense of community, a sense of belonging. They had this other non-financial aspect that their job held for them. And so today what we're going to talk about is, how do you know when you're ready to retire? Not just financially retire, but that you've actually had enough work. And whatever it is for you that work offers other than just financial compensation. We don't want to fall into the trap where we spend so much time fixating on just the financial side that we neglect the other non-financial elements of retiring. Because really, when you come to think of it, you shouldn't just think about retiring. Think of retirement as more than just financial freedom. More than having enough income and assets and resources, but being able to provide the lifestyle that you want to have without working. And if that's the case, oftentimes, many people will actually continue working. Because yes, even though they did achieve financial freedom, work offers another benefit. And that benefit's not something they want to give up lightly. And so as you think about this, how do you know if you've had enough work? How do you know if you're in that position to say, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and retire. And I think I've had enough work. Well, there's a few signs that may let you know if you've had enough work. Reason number 1, you're consistently bringing home negative energy from work. So if you're going to work and you dislike the people you work with, you feel unmotivated to finish projects, if you're uninspired by what you're doing and it's draining you mentally, and you're feeling exhausted by the end of the day so much that you're coming home with that negative energy, you may have had enough work. If financially you answered yes to that first question in the first part of the retirement series, so you're financially able to retire, and you're coming home bringing that negative energy with you, that's the first sign that you might be ready to retire. Reason number 2 is you're too comfortable. You're just not challenged anymore. If you're in a job where it used to push you and you would grow, and now that's no longer happening, maybe it is time to retire. And again, retirement doesn't mean you're necessarily having to do anything. It just means that you've set up the financial freedom to pursue what you want to do. So that financial freedom could be a new challenge, a new opportunity to grow, a new opportunity of starting your own business, or maybe going to work in a different capacity where you are feeling challenged and you aren't feeling so comfortable. So if that's the sense where you feel too comfortable and you just aren't getting that challenge to wake up and go get your job done every day, that may be your second sign that you've had enough work and it's time to retire. Number 3, you just don't want to work. Now, this may be the most obvious one, but if you wake up Monday mornings and you're just counting down the days you can hand in your resignation letter, you've probably had enough work. Again, you need to make sure that you have step number 1 complete, which is, do you have enough financial resources to be able to retire? And if that's the case and you dread going to work, and when you come home you dread having to go back the next day, then it's probably actually a good indicator that you've had enough work. Number 4, the environments become toxic. And this kind of ties into a lot of them. But so often I see people who are preparing for retirement, they're ready to retire, and the environment they are in has just become so toxic. It's either a manager they have, the leadership, the culture, some element of the company has just gone toxic for them. And there's no longer a reason to stay because there's no more financial reason to be there. That's a good reason to say you've had enough work and it may be time to retire. And finally, number 5 is very important. You're feeling physically or mentally unhealthy. Your health is extremely important, especially as you're going into retirement. It's supposed to be a new season where you can travel with your family and friends, or maybe be outside and actually do the things you want to do. And sadly, if work is taking a physical or mental toll on you, it's going to continue into retirement. So that's an example of an unhealthy scenario that you don't want to be in unnecessarily any longer than you have to. So if you have enough money to be able to retire, take that next step into something different. So if it's any of these 5, number 1, you're consistently bringing home negative energy. Number 2, you're too comfortable where you're not challenged. Number 3, you don't even want to work anymore. Number 4, the environment has become toxic. Or number 5, it is no longer physically or mentally healthy for you to be there. If you identify with any of those feelings, that could be a sign that you've had enough work. So if you answered question number 1, yes, and now you've answered yes to one of these 5 criteria, now there might be some reasons to look at why you would stay at work. Maybe you say, Daniel, I'm not sure. I kind of enjoy work. Well, here's a few reasons why you may want to stay. Number 1 is purpose. Many times, work provides a sense of purpose. Do you enjoy what you're doing? Do you enjoy the final outcome? Do you enjoy serving others and giving your unique talents to them? If you do derive a sense of purpose from work, then that's great. I believe that we were created to work. We work as a healthy avenue. It's really a healthy expression of who we are at our core. So if you're lucky enough to feel a sense of purpose, then that's wonderful. That's a great reason to stay, even if financially you don't necessarily need to. And number 2 is there mentorship? Are there mentorship opportunities at your work currently? Chances are when you got to your job, there was plenty of people that had been there before for you to learn from. People maybe mentored you directly or indirectly. Maybe you have those opportunities now. Maybe as you're preparing for retirement, you have opportunities to be a mentor to someone else. And if that's the case, that could be another very compelling reason to stay. So if you feel like you're adding value to somebody else, that could be a phenomenal reason to stay. Number 3 is, do you have friendship? Do you have friendship amongst your coworkers? Work isn't just a place where you go to get work done. There's definitely a community aspect to it. There's a sense of fellowship. There's a sense of being able to connect with people in a healthy way. And if you stop working, what you'll find is there's no longer an excuse to see these people 5 days a week. You may not consistently see them or anyone at all. So identify, who do you enjoy working with? Do you have good friendships at your workplace? So ask yourself if you're really willing to let that go as you pursue other things you want to do in retirement. And if the answer to that is no, well, again, that could be a very compelling reason to stay, even if financially you don't need to. Number 4 is it provides a routine. A lot of us, well, we're creatures of habit. And if that goes away, it can often feel like our structure goes away with it. We don't know what else to do with some of our new time. And that's not to say there certainly aren't things you can do to fill it, because there absolutely are. But understand this is one healthy benefit of work in many ways. So if you're working good hours and those hours are working for you, well, that's a routine I wouldn't underestimate. And when that goes away, well, some people really struggle with that and others thrive with that structure in retirement. So understand whether it's something that provides purpose, friendship, mentorship, or just a routine. Any of these reasons could be a good reason to stay. I don't need work, but yet I've had enough work. There are reasons for me to stay, even reasons above just a paycheck. So at the end of the day, if there is a benefit to work, and it's not getting in the way of any of your other benefits you want to take advantage of in retirement, if you've lost that sense of purpose, that sense of connection, that sense of you're doing something good in an environment where you love and it's healthy, well, then it may be time to answer yes, and it may be time to start taking that step towards retirement. It's something that you want to give a good amount of thought to ultimately before you end up doing it. So in our next episode, we're going to look at question number 3. Today was short and brief, but really just a good barometer of if you feel like you're ready to retire. So we'll see you next week where we tackle question 3 in this 4-part retirement countdown series. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Daniel Ronberg. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this video and you want more information about retirement, be sure to check out my new book, Buy Back Your Life, How to Stop Worrying About Money and Start Living in Retirement. If you want a copy of this book absolutely for free, call my office with this phone number below. Talk to the girls at the front desk. You don't have to provide any information. We just need your name and address, and they'll mail you out your copy today.